What do you think makes you the best captain or coach in this field? Self-mastery.
Yeah, well, I always start with education because I have so much.
Yes.
I've been through 2-year-long coaching programs, and not the on-site, not on the online kind, the one where you actually sit at desks and you get real teachers and you are with colleagues and you learn. I learned sort of a type of life coaching that is about goal setting and the basic life skills about how to do your finances and visions and vision boards and long-term goals and life purpose and just a lot of different life areas. And then I went through another program, which was a professional coaching, and it's integral. We call it integral coaching, and it's loosely based on Ken Wilber's philosophy, which is integral psychology. I use an integral intake basically when I do my assessments, because I'm looking at where is a person's psyche, what is the level of development that their ego is at, where's their self-awareness, what's their worldview, what lines of development, how have they progressed cognitively, emotionally, relationally, spiritually, and so on. So those are different lines of development that flow through levels of development. So each of us are operating, obviously, in this world nowadays at different levels of development. So we actually see the world very differently, and therefore the coaching that I would do would be relevant to that. Then I actually decided that wasn't enough, and that all of that was missing an understanding of the unconscious, and that's why I went to get my PhD in depth psychology, because I still felt deeply in my soul that something was missing, that all the interventions that I had been involved in through my career as an organization development consultant, which is training and professional leadership development for corporations, I kept seeing something's missing here. And when I found depth psychology, particularly Jungian psychology, I realized that the unconscious, which is like 90% of our psyche, which is unconscious, that's what was missing. There was a saying that I created when I worked for one consulting firm, that the cream does not rise to the top. And so I found a real lacking of self-mastery at the top, and that was very disappointing to me. And one of the reasons why I left corporate and to start my own practice was I really want to work with people who are very interested in self-mastery. Like, how do I become the best person that I can possibly become? In corporate, that's how do I become the best leader? The process is, in the way that I work, I can work with an individual or a leader. It's the same process. So what I bring to the table is this deep understanding, deep and wide understanding of psyche and psychological processes and how it functions, along with all these methods that you learn and how to transact change in life coaching. So I go to psychology for the understanding of psyche, and I go to life coaching for how to help somebody make the change and therefore master the self. The goal is spiritual. The goal is absolutely spiritual. And so there are people, I think Jung said something like 80% of his clients, after their original crisis was resolved, stayed for the spiritual work. And that's what Jungian psychology really helps you with, is really understanding how do I continue to evolve my psyche for spiritual evolution. We certainly need that these days. So I don't care if you call that psychological development or spiritual development or emotional development. What I'm really talking about is raising our vibrations.